Hello and welcome to In the Director's Chair on Guardian.co.uk. I'm Jason Solomons and my guest on this edition of the show is the Hollywood director Roland Emmerich, the man behind huge hits such as Independence Day, Godzilla and The Day After Tomorrow. And he's here today to talk about his latest film, 2012, which isn't about the Olympics but about the end of days.
Jackson, hurry up! Look behind you!
Holy... Careful, careful! Down it! You gotta get to the Santa Monica Airport!
We'll take the freeway, it'll be half the time!
No!
There the world was ending, you know, people were being destroyed in buildings, the freeways were collapsing, and I was having a hell of a good time watching it. That must be a very strange kind of dichotomy for you, the balance between entertainment and apocalypse.
It's really interesting. When you make it too intense, it's like not enjoyable anymore. But it has to be enjoyable, otherwise, you know, people leave the theater. So it's a very fine line, and sometimes you get a little bit too funny, and then you take it out, and then you put it back in, and take it out. So there's a lot of discussions going on.
I thought this was pretty funny, actually. I quite enjoyed it, and then I realised, what am I enjoying? The mass destruction.
I wanted to ask you something.
Yeah, I only got a minute.
Hey,
Pickle?
no. I was listening to the broadcast, and I was wondering, what exactly is it that's going to start in Hollywood?
It's the apocalypse. End of days. The judgment day, the end of the world, my friend. Christians called it the rapture, but the Mayans knew about it, the Hopis, the I Ching, the Bible, kind of. Beer?
Yeah.
So look, I gotta eat. Why don't you download my blog? It's free. Of course, we do appreciate donations. In ancient times, the Mayan people were the first civilization to discover that this planet had an expiration date. According to their calendar, in the year 2012, a cataclysmic event will unfold caused by an alignment of the planets in our solar system that only happens every 640,000 years.
Oh, not again.
You call your films disaster movies, and there's a whole genre, of course, of films that are disaster movies. In the 70s, it used to be a rather different kind of event. It would be the roller coaster at the fun fair ride, or the cruiser, the Poseidon Adventure, something like that, which your countryman Wolfgang Petersen remade recently as well. They were one-off events, the disaster movies. Yours have made them much more global, I suppose, for the new century.
Well, you know what, like, you know, when I was like writing, you know, like before I was writing Independence Day, I got like kind of offered, because Stargate was like a huge hit, and all of a sudden I got all these like kind of scripts, and one of them was like Daylight. This was the one with the tunnel.
With Sylvester Stallone, eventually.
Yeah, and I kind of was like kind of saying, why should I do that? Because I had at that time the idea for Independence Day. I said, look, what do people care really today about some local disaster? They see this on TV. You know, don't forget, in the 70s, you know, stuff like this you didn't saw on TV. Now, you know, see everything on TV.
Yeah.
And because of that, you know, you have to kind of move to bigger ideas.
But were the templates for your film, like
yeah.
The Towering Inferno? I mean,
The Towering Inferno was a really real template for Independence Day. And when you like kind of look at it careful, we like kind of said, oh, a lead actor can come very late into the movie. Steve McQueen, as the fireman, comes very late in the movie. Will Smith comes very late into the movie. So you know what I mean? There are like kind of certain ideas, because also multiple characters, an ensemble cast, you know?
Yeah, I know. Actually, everyone loved in disaster movies, and you used to have to bet, you know, who's going to go first?
Exactly.
You know,
and then you can surprise people because there's not one big hero which can never like kind of die. You can have all of a sudden somebody make him like really sympathetic, and then he dies, and everybody says, "Oh my God!"
In your film, it's always there's the dad, the divorced dad, who kind of makes while the world is cracking up, he's soldering relations with his son. And it always works as well, Roland. I always think, damn, you could see the.
I had a very kind of close relationship with my dad. You know, it was just because of that. Probably I have a lot of these stories.
Was that the guy who got you into film? What was a German boy watching when he was growing up as a film fan? Because I mean, Germany had a.
I was like kind of the odd one, you know, because I only watched American movies. I didn't like the German movies. They were just too boring for me. It was very provocative at that time to say in Germany, I'm making movies for audiences. I make movies to entertain. That's my first and only, like kind of a goal.
You managed to combine small family drama, as we've mentioned, with the husband and the father and the son and the ex-wife. You always have the little family drama going on against these apocalyptic.
I like just the fact, that when you like have these like kind of big, like kind of scenarios, and these incredible scenes, all of a sudden cut to like a very, very small moment, and I'd much rather do a scene like this than some of these like kind of really big
I was going to say, where's the fun for a director now? Is it
in
in
these
making
kind of
the
scenes?
scene?
In these kind of scenes.
But the scene where the plane's flying through the crumbling Los Angeles and you're through the
well, that's like kind of
canyons
something that's just very tedious, I mean, a sequence like this, gets created like in the course of like 14, 15 months. From first like kind of thing. So you're not getting excited about this. But like when you go on a set, and you work with actors, and at the end you shoot a scene, you know that next day you will already see it cut.
Well,
these like visual effect sequences, they're like kind of tedious and boring, and yes, they're not at the end the most exciting thing, but like by the time the moment like kind of the acting scenes take over, I'm totally leaning back and enjoying it,
right,
and just like kind of relaxed and emotionally involved.
Just before we go, you are the master of apocalyptic cinema at the moment, the global disaster movie. Are we heading toward a global disaster? You must have researched enough of this to know where we are. If you keep telling us in cinema,
I think we're like in a very peculiar time. I think that the people, when we like kind of did Independence Day, Independence Day was not really about the end of the world. It was more like a fight about like kind of good against evil. And, it was like an invasion of privacy. That was like kind of the theme of it. And Day After Tomorrow was like kind of more like a warning. If we keep doing what we're doing, our world will definitely change to the worse. And this movie is like kind of really a little bit born out of this zeitgeist, that I feel around me since 2 or 3 years, that people are very, very, like kind of not looking forward to the future. They're very, very, everybody's very scared, very depressed, I feel like kind of some sort of like end of the world, like kind of feeling.
That's what I need to go and see in the cinema on a Friday night. Weltschmerz. You give Weltschmerz, but with a laugh.
We give Weltschmerz, but it's fun.
Yes, exactly. Well, it is 2012. But I hope the Olympics are as much fun as your 2012.
Yeah, but like I mean, it wouldn't be fun. Would be like kind of boring, and I don't want to have that either. So,
Roland Emmerich, certainly you could not accuse you of making boring films, Roland Emmerich. Very nice to see you. Thank you for coming in the director's chair.
Okay.